What's up, gamers? The Red Dragon here, and we are checking out the latest Tomb Raider game. I want to first thank G2PO and Gamersgate.com, where you can download games anytime, anywhere, for this review copy they got me a hold of, so that's how I'm bringing it to you today. So I want to start off by first talking about the multiplayer, because that's what I usually focus on this channel is multiplayer games. So let's talk a little bit about the new Tomb Raider multiplayer. First off, the graphics look great. The controls feel pretty good. It still feels pretty smooth, similar to the single player mode. You still have zip lines. You can move across the map. You know, jumping around and climbing up stuff is a lot of fun. Now, as far as multiplayer goes, there are 4 game modes. You've got Team Deathmatch, you've got Free-for-All, which I don't care anything about either one of those. I like the objective type games, and they do have 2 objective games in this one. One's called Rescue. One team is trying to capture medical supplies and bring it back to the base, while the other team is trying to stop them by killing them. And then you also have a Cry for Help game mode, where one team is trying to capture these 3 radio positions, and it's almost kind of like Conquest, where you sit in the ring and then you can capture it, and the other team is trying to stop you by killing you. Now, the way the multiplayer plays out, it can be kind of fun for a little bit, but after a while I was kind of like, okay, I've seen it all. I've experienced it, and there just wasn't enough game modes, or it didn't feel like it was as in-depth to keep me occupied for a very long time at all. So, but as far as the map layouts, they work well. The game modes are pretty fun, and you can also do some pretty cool stuff like setting traps and stuff for your enemies. So all that, you know, it's okay, but this is not a game that you definitely buy for the multiplayer experience, and I really don't see this being a very long-term game that people spend on multiplayer. Having said that, of course, we are talking about Tomb Raider, so the focus is on the single player, and when we start talking about the single player game, man, this game is gorgeous. And if you liked the past Tomb Raiders, of course, this is a reboot. This game, very dirty, like, as far as just like dark, you know, the way the storyline plays out, the whole setting and everything is dark and bleak. But I liked it. Laura, she starts off, you know, she doesn't want to kill anybody. That part of it kind of reminded me of Far Cry, where you start off and you're not really a killer, but then you become one, and then you're okay with it, and you're killing, you know, everybody in sight. So it's similar to that. You can also upgrade your skills points and get upgrades and things like that. Also kind of reminiscent of other games similar to Far Cry and stuff like that. As far as the map layouts, the graphics, they are stunning. They are gorgeous. Being able to move around the map, flying around, I loved it. And being able to solve different puzzles, there's not a whole lot of puzzles in this game, and this has been one of the focus points of the game that people have been talking about, where, you know, in past Tomb Raiders, there were a lot of puzzles, there were a lot of things to figure out. There are still puzzles and things to figure out in Tomb Raider, the new one, but it doesn't go nearly as far as in the past, and it seems like it's a lot easier. Like, sometimes you'll be looking at something and trying to figure out how to bypass an area, and then it'll just hit you, and, you know, you feel good, you know, that you figured it out, but it really wasn't that difficult to begin with. The characters, the storyline, there is a lot here that will keep you entertained for several hours. In fact, it'll keep you busy or occupied if you make it to the end of the game for 12 to 15 hours, I would say. For me, some of the most appealing moments of the game was just trying to figure out how I was going to get to a certain location. But the way the map plays out, it's pretty linear. Like, it looks kind of like an open world map, and you can jump around to different areas of the map, but the game really directs you and tells you where you need to go. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I actually like that. Like, I don't want to be just wandering around trying to figure out where it is that I have to go or what it is that I have to do. And if there are any periods where you're not really sure what to do or what to use, then there's actually a button that you can push that really highlights things that are important and objectives. All in all, if you're looking for a solid action-adventure game, I think you'll find it in Tomb Raider. I don't think you'll find a solid multiplayer. You might find something that you'll enjoy for a little bit, but long-term, the single player is definitely where the goods are in this game. And as far as the combat system goes, which you will be involved in combat, it's really nice too in the way it's laid out. Really easy to get used to. You got a bow and arrow, which is freaking awesome. But you can take down your enemies using stealth. You can try to sneak around them, or you can just go guns a-blazing if that's what you want. And one other thing that I really liked about the combat system was that Laura automatically hides behind things. So if you walk up behind a wall, she'll automatically duck down. There's no button pushing and stuff like that. So a lot of times with other, third-person games, it can be a little clumsy and things whenever you get into those situations with combat. But this one, I thought really worked well. And overall, I was pretty pleased with Tomb Raider. So that does it for me, The Red Dragon. Post your comments below. Tell me what you think about Tomb Raider if you've got to play it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.